In this episode of the Real Talk with Zuby podcast, the host welcomes back Dr. Saad, a professor of marketing at Concordia University and an evolutionary behavioral scientist. The conversation revolves around the current state of the world, particularly the conflict in the Middle East, and the challenges of navigating social media and tribalism. Dr. Saad begins by discussing the personal impact of the conflict in the Middle East, as he comes from a Lebanese Jewish background and has family in Israel. He shares the difficulties of seeing the brutality and violence that people can inflict on each other, both on a personal level and in his public engagement. He notes that speaking up is necessary, even though it often leads to being labeled and attacked. The conversation then shifts to the tribalism and hostility that is prevalent on social media. Dr. Saad and Zuby discuss how social media amplifies people's dark hearts and allows for the expression of hatred and tribalistic behavior. They both express frustration with the way people jump to attack and insult others based on their political beliefs or opinions, rather than engaging in civil discourse. Dr. Saad emphasizes the importance of recognizing the humanity in others and rising above tribalism. He explains that most people, regardless of their political beliefs, can see the suffering of innocent people and recognize it as wrong. However, many people view the world through the lens of coalitional psychology, where it's us versus them. Dr. Saad also highlights how religions, particularly Abrahamic religions, play on this coalitional psychology by creating a clear demarcation between us and them. The conversation then delves into the challenges of engaging in public discourse, particularly in academic settings. Dr. Saad shares his experience of giving a keynote address at USC, where he faced hostility and opposition from fellow professionals. He describes how even in an environment where one would expect open-mindedness and intellectual discourse, there was a strong resistance to certain ideas and a lack of willingness to engage in a meaningful discussion. Zuby shares his own experience of being protested at a university in Florida and the immaturity he witnessed during the event. He notes that many people react to ideas they disagree with by lashing out, trying to ban or silence the speaker, or resorting to name-calling. Both Zuby and Dr. Saad express their frustration with the immaturity and lack of intellectual rigor in these interactions. Dr. Saad then introduces the concept of cognitive miserliness, which refers to people's tendency to take shortcuts and be intellectually lazy when forming opinions. He explains that many people rely on emotional reactions and preconceived notions rather than engaging in a thoughtful analysis of the evidence. He emphasizes the importance of building a nomological network of cumulative evidence when defending a position, using the example of toy preferences to illustrate his point. The conversation continues with a discussion on the need for realistic optimism and the importance of seeking truth. Dr. Saad and Zuby both express their commitment to navigating the complexities of the world and introducing positivity through their work, despite the challenges they face. Dr. Saad emphasizes the importance of building a strong intellectual foundation and the effort required to develop a comprehensive understanding of complex issues. He criticizes the tendency to oversimplify and attack opposing viewpoints rather than engaging in thoughtful analysis and discussion. He argues that this approach hinders progress and prevents meaningful solutions to societal problems. The conversation then turns to the issue of cultural relativism, which Dr. Saad sees as a problematic ideology that prevents individuals from making value judgments. He argues that not all cultures are equal and that certain cultural practices, such as female genital mutilation, should be condemned. He highlights the need for a universal set of values based on human rights and individual dignity. Zuby and Dr. Saad also discuss the impact of immigration and multiculturalism on Western societies. They argue that importing large numbers of people from cultures with values that are incompatible with those of the host country can lead to social tensions and conflicts. Dr. Saad cites surveys showing high levels of antisemitism in certain societies and warns of the potential consequences of allowing large numbers of people with such views into Western countries. The conversation then shifts to the concept of going where you're treated best. Zubi shares his personal experience of becoming a resident of the United Arab Emirates and explains his decision to leave the UK due to concerns about the direction of the country. Dr. Saad discusses his own experiences and the challenges he has faced as a public figure in Canada. They both emphasize the importance of considering one's own well-being and the well-being of their family when making decisions about where to live. Towards the end of the podcast, Dr. Saad reflects on the current state of the West and expresses his concerns about its future. He argues that the West is facing a multi-front civilizational suicide due to the influence of parasitic ideologies. He believes that the West is on a path towards self-destruction and that the consequences will be significant for future generations. Despite the pessimistic outlook, Dr. Saad encourages listeners to focus on the positive aspects of life and to treat others with dignity and respect. He emphasizes the importance of living in the present moment and making the most of every opportunity. He concludes by urging individuals to embrace diversity and engage in meaningful conversations that transcend tribalism and promote understanding. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe.